Jalen Johnson is the fourth-year forward for the Atlanta Hawks, and he has put himself on everyone's radar these last couple of seasons. The Hawks have looked desperately for ways to get out of complete mediocrity. And before his season-ending shoulder surgery, this Atlanta forward's breakout was a fantastic step in the right direction. When I first noticed the overflow of positive conversation about Johnson, fans were calling him one of the best athletes in the league and a great power dunker. And while this is more than true, there's so much more to his game that gets you really excited about his future. So much that the Hawks are missing in his absence. So let's not waste any more time and let's get into it. At 6'8", 220, with the ability to jump out the gym, Jalen Johnson's greatest strength is his intimidating rim presence and his finishing around the basket. The word that comes to mind when I watch him drive is determined. Once he decides he's going, and players have a very difficult time trying to stop him once he makes this decision. He has the strength and ability to absorb and distribute contact, plus the hops that just make him difficult to stop altogether. We see this in the half court and in transition. In the half court, he does a great job of attacking off the catch and attacking closeouts, making the quick and final decision to take it all the way. In transition, we see a lot of his speed, and again how difficult it is for defenders to keep up with him and stop him, and how easy it seems to be for Johnson to ward them off and get his buckets. Overall, JJ has very conclusive and uninterrupted drives to the basket. While being very determined, the Atlanta forward is also very composed with his driving. Some players could be determined to get to the cup, but might be out of control or rushed. Not Johnson, as he takes his time with his moves to the basket. These two put together make for a very confident and hard to handle slasher. We know the danger that Johnson is deep inside the paint, but there are other areas of the floor he seems to be gaining comfort in as a scorer, specifically the in-between area, or just short of the restricted area. Mainly we see this with his floater shot. I believe the shot is so important to have for every player, but especially for slashers. It just keeps the defense honest. When you can hit the shot from just a little further out, defenses have to at least think about coming out to contest, opening up your drive even more. I also think the floater helps conserve some energy for a player, allowing you not to have to force your way underneath the basket on every single drive. Being able to stop just short and use your soft touch just makes things easier on you. This shot just makes your driving game and inside presence more dynamic. Last season, Johnson shot 35.5% from 3 on 3.6 attempts per game. Pretty solid. He was down this season, and that 3-point shot is still developing. He has a willingness to take this shot, which I like. Defenses cannot completely ignore him, and hopefully he can become more efficient from long range, because we all know how important this shot is in today's game. Jalen Johnson was impressing us all before he went down with the shoulder injury, the most improved player for a lot of people, averaging near 20 points a contest. His scoring game is so impactful for the Atlanta offense, specifically his driving game. And once a player has something they can go to consistently, whether that's a move or an area of the floor they know they can attack in, the next step is to be able to read how the defense starts to react to the scoring pressure, being able to make counter plays off of it, specifically how to find teammates once your scoring pressure starts to cause collapses in defenses. I believe a lot of times playmaking is the second step offensively to stardom for players, and Johnson understands well how to pass off his slashing gravity. I mentioned before that he is very composed and under control when he is looking to get inside to score. Well, this sort of poise also extends to this part of his offensive game. Mainly we get to see this aspect of the young star's skill set and just his overall passing talent when his point guard Trae Young is off the floor, as he really steps up as the de facto backup point guard. One way his playmaking shows up is with how good he can find his guys inside. When making his way to the rim, he stays aware and he reacts quickly to any openings down low. This extends to his teammates that are vertical threats with his ability to throw lobs. Someone with this type of size and athleticism having the skill and IQ to make these types of plays on the ball is such a huge asset. Another place we really see Johnson's playmaking and vision is in transition. As we talked about before, he is great in transition as a scorer and play finisher, but he might be equally as good when finding his teammates when they are running with him. This makes for a very dangerous fast break player overall. Defenses want to load up on him because of his speed, strength, and athleticism, but they must be careful because with Johnson's passing ability, the whole flock of Hawks is dangerous when they are flying at you. Transition buckets are so valuable in basketball, so having someone that can get things going and make things easy here is huge. Overall, Jay Johnson has a pretty deep passing bag. Every dime doesn't need to be flashy for a player to be a good passer. Having a player that can make simple but very effective passes should not go underrated. We could look at something like these two over-the-top passes to backup center Onyeka Okongwu versus the Celtics, for example. Again, these are very simple, and you would think every professional basketball player could execute this sort of play. But a lot of times I hear fans complaining about how their favorite team's player cannot find their bigs when they're being fronted like this. Being able to make this lob over the top can lead to a lot of easy buckets. Wherever I see him on the floor, Johnson seems to know how to get the ball where it needs to be. And again, this skill is imperative for any player who wants to be in the upper echelon of the league. So as you can see, this forward has a ton of positive offensive traits to be excited about, but on the other side of the ball, I'd like to see a lot more consistency from him. It was a bit more common in the beginning of the season, but I noticed too many possessions where he just struggles to guard and allows blow-bys. Overall, he would benefit from more awareness and consistent intensity on defense. He averaged 1 block a game through 36 games this season, and I'd love to see him buy into this role of a rim protector a little bit more because I think there could be some untapped potential here. Johnson can also showcase some pretty good anticipation in passing lanes. He had multiple 6-steal games in his last 6 games playing. One thing I really like from his game on defense is his rebounding. He snagged down 10 a contest this season, and he has pretty good fights on the boards, not giving up. Overall, Johnson can have some pretty good and promising defensive outings, but making this a game in, game out expectation we can have of him should be a huge focus going forward. Two-way ability is one of the most valuable in basketball, especially for a bigger player like himself. Jalen Johnson has become one of my favorite players to watch. With most of my breakdowns, I focus on younger players showcasing their early stardom, if you wanted to check out some of my previous videos. And with this Atlanta forward, you have one of the most versatile young players in the game. The athleticism and slashing talent, the developing jump shot, the ability to stay calm and read the floor so well. Johnson is really a do-it-all guy with just 4 seasons played. It is truly a shame he only got to enjoy 36 games of his breakout season, but he will be back, and I can't wait to see how he continues to get better, and I know his squad misses him. But what do you think? How good is Jalen Johnson really? Was he your most improved player? Can his development save the Atlanta Hawks? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. This has been Rashad with Hoops Times 2. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. I'll see you all next time. Peace out.